Welcome, incredible agents and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, December 13th, 2018, and this is Mastermind call number 206. Hopefully y'all can hear us well. We're actually sitting around the boardroom at our corporate headquarters in Cocoa, Florida. We're doing some really interesting planning this week and a lot of new news to share with you guys in the next few weeks and a lot of incredible upgrades. So we're excited about that, and we thank you all for showing up today. We have 4 people now in the queue. Good job. And one last time, just hit *6 and hit 1 if you know you would like to participate actively. And other than the fact that we're really excited about some new improvements and upgrades and additional products that we've been talking about for years, or for months at least, we'll be getting those out probably in the first quarter of this year. So we'll be sharing more details later about that. But Chad, anything you want to share with the group?
Yeah, a couple of things. So December Probate Mastery, obviously the last one of the year, is coming up starting on Monday. So we're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 2 p.m. till finish, which is sometimes 4 to 5, depending on how interactive the group is. You should have gotten an email announcing that, or you can simply go to the education and training on our main website or in the subscriber portal. The other thing I wanted to kind of touch on, so as you guys probably know, we launched a test for our digital marketing product that is called Lead Follow. And we have a lot of you are in that first test round. The campaigns are running. I did send an email out on Saturday morning. It was about 9 o'clock. So all campaigns are active. The landing pages are working. We are getting leads. It's early. We're early in the process. It'll run through the end of the month, and then we'll do an audit of the campaign and send you a report of what the results were. We're trying different ad variations and a lot of different things to see what works best, and that's always going to be changing. We're also building software around this to make it much more efficient. So if you didn't get in on the test, it should be, you should have the ability. We'll have public-facing ordering probably early in January. So sit tight. As soon as we learn what we need to learn and kind of perfect it, then we'll roll that out and give you guys pricing and everything. But so far, we're really pleased with the results. The personal reps seem to be responding well to the ad sets we're running and to the conversational landing pages. So it should be a product for the beginning of 2019 and going forward. Then we'll move into more advanced things like video ads and move over from Facebook into the Google platform and just keep adding to it. So that's all I have for today.
Excellent. And our fearless CEO is running just a little bit late, so we'll go ahead and get started. We have 5 people in the queue, plenty of room for more. First up is phone number ending in 5213. Excuse me, you're up first. Are you there?
Yes, hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've used your service before. My partner, I guess I'm still using it, but my partner's really doing it back in New Jersey. I live now in Florida, but I'm still selling real estate in New Jersey, so I know how to create leads as a realtor. But I'm thinking of doing it here in Florida as an investor. And I just wanted to know, I'm just trying to learn the different techniques, how it differs from looking for listings as far as being, because I'm not licensed in Florida. So I'm not looking to list properties in Florida. I'm looking to try to buy properties at a discount. Do you follow that question?
Right. Yeah, I understand the question. So what we teach, and I guess let me first explain. So the reason we teach what we teach is because it's much easier to start the conversation when you're not a realtor, not an investor, not any typical label. But if you can start the conversation as, hi, I'm a probate expert, or I've built a team of people locally that specialize in helping folks in your situation, then they listen, because that's something they've never heard before. So the other thing is we teach every investor to have a good realtor on your team if you're not licensed, just like we teach every realtor to have a cash buyer or multiple cash buyers. So it just creates opportunities to provide a higher level service. You can monetize those opportunities. But the biggest reason we kind of cross-train everybody is because that's what we've learned in our own businesses, that it's much easier to get your foot in the door and get into an engaging conversation when you're not saying what anyone else is saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Anything that gets your foot in the door is a good. You got to sit down
Right.
and talk to people, otherwise you can't go anyplace, right?
Yeah, so my recommendation would be in your Florida market, and a good place to start would be on our Facebook group. Are you in All the Leads Mastermind, our Facebook group?
Oh, no, I'm not, and I don't do Facebook.
Sir?
I don't do Facebook.
You still there?
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you in our Facebook group, All the Leads Mastermind?
No.
So jump in and join that group. So just go to Facebook and search All the Leads Mastermind, and that's our closed group. There's over 3,000 of us in there. That's a quick way that you can find somebody who already understands this and has the skill set that's in your Florida market. We've got a lot of agents in Florida that I'm sure would be happy to partner up with you.
And so where is that? It's Facebook. It's All the Leads Facebook.
Yeah, All the Leads Mastermind in Facebook.
All the Leads Mastermind. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for participating.
Okay.
Next up is phone number ending in 8505. You're up next.
I had a question about the Mastermind probate class next week. I'm unable to attend, but I was wondering when the next one will be, or do you record it and offer it to purchase later?
Sure. So what we do, we video record everything that we do from a training standpoint because we're all busy and things come up, right? Deals fall apart, you get new leads. So as soon as the session is over, you get a video recap, an email with a video recap. And the one thing I'll say, if you miss anything and you feel like you had a question that wasn't covered by the interaction on the training, you can always get direct access to me. You can send a support ticket, and we can deal with your stuff one-on-one if you didn't get what you needed from the training. So you can go ahead and sign up, and if you do miss something, you'll have it within an hour of the end of the session anyways to go through on your own time. And if you need more, then we're here to help.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We have 3 more in the queue, guys. We have plenty of room for more questions, comments. We're still looking for our win of the week. If anybody has any good story they want to share with us, don't be shy. Just hit *6 and then hit 1. Next up is phone number ending in 0448. You're up next.
Hey, guys. How you doing? My name is Anthony. I'm from New Jersey. So new to the program. How are you? New to the program, but not new to calling leads. Been doing it for probably about 10, 15 years, but sent out our first campaign of letters the end of last week. And my first response from someone was an irate lady that called in asking to speak with my manager. On our letter, we have to use company letterhead, is what I was told. And we have to put our company information on there, our address and phone number. So she saw the information there. She called in, asked to speak with the manager, called me the grave chaser. And she said, she thinks it's disgusting what we're doing. And I used one of the letters from, off of the site, and we kind of just tweaked it a little bit, kind of made it our own. And, it was proofread by everyone. So I'm assuming that we're going to come into contact with that. I mean, we also sent out 304 letters in our county. So from what I was told, it's kind of a big number. And then I got another phone call yesterday from a gentleman who was actually polite. He asked to speak with me directly, and he mentioned I received one of your letters, and I just think it's a little wrong with what you're doing. I know the lady that called the first time, it was her father that had passed away, and it was about a month ago, so it was pretty fresh. This other gentleman that called, first thing I did, I said, I'm sorry for your loss, I apologize. And he said, I know you're trying to get some business, and I just think it's a kind of dirty way. And, he hung up, and that was that. So just wondering if you guys have heard situations and what you could suggest to do.
Sure we have, and that's what we call the lightning strike objection, because most people, we're all terrified of it, but very few of us get hit. You just got hit twice in 1 week, so maybe you should go play the lottery or something. I think, if you can, empathy goes a long way in all parts and in all business, but if you can understand, and this is one of the things we spend quite a bit of time on in Mastery, is really like when you pick up the phone or when you send a letter, understand the state of mind they're in, understand the stress they're under. And when they call back, understand that, different people are going to misperceive what you're offering. But it gives you an opportunity to diffuse that. So one of the most effective, you guys have heard me talk, well, you may not have since you're newer, but one tactic is feel, felt, found. So I understand how you feel, and I'm validating that. Most of our clients felt that way in the beginning, but what they found is when they realized what we were really offering, it was actually a really valuable service to them. And the psychology behind that is you're labeling and highlighting their emotion, and then you start to downplay that and show them how they might not be absolutely right because they don't know who you are. They just made it up, right? So try that. Like, empathy is the key here. So I understand how you feel, and I can appreciate that. Hell, most of my best clients felt that way because they didn't understand what I was offering. And then you get them to engage. And silence is key here. If you can end on a question. So I understand how you feel. Most of my clients felt that way. Well, first label it. So it seems like you misunderstood what we are offering. And I understand that because I've had a lot of clients feel that way in the past. But what we do is we reach out early because we know we can make a big difference if we get involved early in the process. What's been the toughest thing to deal with so far? And then all of a sudden they're going to find themselves, it will begin to dissolve. And it doesn't work 100% of the time. Right. And it doesn't matter if you're calling FSBOs or expireds or whatever. You're going to uncover these. I had a guy drive to my UPS box to kick my ass because I sent him a letter on a house that had high equity that hadn't transferred in the last 9 years. It wasn't an emotional thing at all. He just took it the wrong way, and he literally drove to beat me up because he got a letter in the mail. So you're going to uncover it, and you just be empathetic to their situation and why they might feel that way, highlight their emotion, and then start to downplay it, and they usually will come around.
Well, I hear that the feel, felt, found on one of the past previous calls. I went back and I looked, and I saw that, and I didn't get a chance to even do that. I was going to say to him, before I could even open my mouth up, the guy just hung up and was very polite, though. The other woman, I didn't get a chance to speak with her at all. But my manager was a little concerned, more or less, because our name is on there, the company's name. Like people may be going ahead and posting things on like Yelp or whatnot. Our address is on there. All our addresses, actually, all 4 of our offices. So, that's what. Well, and you can.
This call is recorded, and feel free to share it with your manager. We've been working with thousands of agents and investors across the country in all 50 states for the last 4 years, and I don't know of anyone who's really gotten in trouble. And the most common response is the exact opposite of what you're talking about right now. It makes me smile because most people expect what you got, and they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, people love this. Like, they actually said they were happy to hear from me. So that's the more common response across the country. And usually I think the people that feel the way those people felt toward you, they just throw the letter away and you never speak to them. But they're not out there dragging our customers through the mud and posting bad reviews and trying to get them in trouble. So don't let that scare you away from trying to help people. You're doing the right things for the right reasons. You're going to find an asshole every once in a while.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, that's
whatsoever.
Good. Keep that up.
I know my why. My why is huge. So I haven't made a phone call yet. We were just my manager and I were discussing it yesterday. He was like, I can't believe we got 2 complaints. And I said, well, let me get on the phone call tomorrow and speak to the guys and see, and then just kind of boost my morale a little bit, maybe. So then
if it makes you feel any better, like Chad said, we have hundreds of thousands, probably millions of phone calls by now among our agents over the last 4 or 5 years, and I can promise you long term that's going to be less than 1%. Something else interesting that you mentioned. On average, it's about 3.5 months from the date of probate from the date of death until the probate gets filed. In this case, you're dealing with somebody for some reason that went out and filed the probate real quickly. So he must have had some, he must have been over the grief enough, or he had some compelling reason to want to sell the property. So
both of them. I checked. I looked. Well, the one lady, literally, they passed away like September 8th, and they filed for probate like October 9th.
Yeah, left the funeral, went right to the attorney. So yeah.
I mean, people move quickly here in New Jersey. We don't waste a lot of time. Yeah, as you can see, they got the letter. They made the phone call right away.
There you go.
But,
well, you sound like you have a good
gentlemen.
attitude. Have a sense of humor, and I promise in the long run. We had a gentleman, Chad and I were at a conference a couple years ago, and the guy was calling to quit because his very first call. Do you remember? I wish I could think of the gentleman's name, but he had the same thing, and Chad kind of talked him down off the ledge. He's one of our best clients now, and 2 years later, he's never had it happen again. So.
And he's in Jersey. That was the triple play show.
Yeah, that sure was.
Okay.
That was. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Thanks for sharing, guys. You can tell we're open to good and bad. Share your nightmares and share your wins with us. Next up is phone number ending in 9404. You're up next.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I just have a question about your call. So I understand, like, you guys can make the calls for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So how does that work? How does that process work? Do you guys? Is it an actual person that is calling, or is it like automated?
So we have a call center. So we have
Okay.
ISAs trained specifically for this niche. So we track it the same as if you would order a letter. We're going to track it at the list level. So if you have a list, like your November list, and you can order however many calls you would like. So if you order a 3-call campaign and set it up with 30-day spacing to be timed with your mail, then once your mail has had time to hit, then our system will order the calls, and our ISAs will make those live phone calls. We'll call up to all 4 numbers that we provide and leave voicemail unless you would like us not to. And then we'll send you a report on the results of the campaign. When you get an appointment, you'll be notified. You'll get an email immediately, and all the notes and everything are pushed back into your CRM. So it's all done with humans, and it will look like, when your campaign's complete, it will look the same as if you went and did it yourself in your CRM.
And Chad, just to piggyback on what Chad said, they're not trying to take the listing for you. They're introducing themselves as your assistant. You're a busy agent, and you ask them to reach out, and they'll verify that they're talking to the right person. They'll verify the real estate owned, and then they'll set an appointment for you to call them back. We just found that there's very few ISAs that can actually close the deal, but I mean, there are some out there that can, but for usually the most effective way, we have examples like Sam, who actually does close the deal every day, but for the most part, if that's what you want, they will actually set the appointment for you to call them back. And you give them a range of times, and you can always call. 2 things you can do. You can, and I think Chad mentioned this, you can listen to the recording so you can kind of judge, where the people are coming from, and if you think it's a good lead, and then you can call them back, and you can qualify the appointment more, or you can change the time if you want. But while we get them on the phone, we want to get a commitment from them that they want you to call back.
And about 18, I think it's the last time we pulled that, 18% of the time we're going all the way to the face-to-face appointment. So it's converting to a listing appointment or an acquisition appointment 18% of the time, with the remainder being phone appointments where you can pick up and take it from there.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And if you would like to know more about it, just send an email to support@alltheleads.com, and somebody will get right back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, great. Hey, guys, we have another 40 minutes. We only have 2 people in the queue, so plenty of room for more. I know it's getting close to the holidays, but we want you guys we want you out there working and making money when everybody else is taking off for the holidays. So don't be afraid to engage. There's about 10 more minutes to get in the queue. Just hit *6 and then hit 1. And next up is phone number ending in 1653. You're up next. Are you there?
I think it's me. It's 1652. But yes. So.
Oh, okay. It shows.
Yeah, that's okay.
You must have a.
Yeah, I probably
okay. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways, my question is, regarding getting the leads. Do you guys supply the leads, or do you teach us how to go to the registry or where to get the leads, or both?
No, we believe that you gathering your own leads is probably the best way to lose money. Our system is designed to take out those choke points. So we are going to the courthouse, getting the leads. We bring the leads back, augment that data to give you valid phone numbers, up to 4 phone numbers for the personal representative. And then we provide you the proven letters to use, a completely automated mail system to use with where those letters, that mail can be fulfilled. We provide ISA services so we can make your phone calls if you don't have the time or bandwidth to do it. We also provide digital marketing services, and lastly, we provide calls like this every week. We do a role play call every month, and we have training, lots of content, over 400 hours of content for you to really build your skill set and sales language around all that. So the idea is to free you up to do what you're best at, which is being a real estate professional, not spending all of your time on administrative tasks and marketing tasks.
Okay.
Does that help? Anything else?
Yep, no, that's good, yep.
All right, excellent. Next up is phone number ending in 6828. You're up next.
Good afternoon, guys. Wade in Chattanooga. And my question is, with Tennessee, probate situations, the real property is not assigned to the executor or to the personal representative. It goes directly to the heirs. So how do you suggest I handle that? I've been sending letters to personal representatives, and they're like, we don't, you'll need to contact the families for any real estate because they're not responsible for it.
Well,
it doesn't pass through probate, from what I've been told.
In Tennessee, the Chancery Court is handling the probate proceedings, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So in Texas, there's a similar provision where you can do a monument of title where it basically carves the real estate out of the probate proceeding. However,
right.
all the things that motivate a family in Iowa to sell a home in probate are still present in Tennessee. The law may be different, but the social aspect of it, the responsibilities of inheriting a house and selling a home, it's all going to be the same. So you may change your language, and if you're going with the approach of, hey, we built a team to help people, specifically to help people going through life transitions or going through probate, and there's a lot of things we can do to help, and real estate happens to be one of those, and you can segue into that conversation, but don't make it a real estate call. Make it a probate call and focus on the people and the situation, and then segue into the real estate. Because, okay, so you're going through probate. Listen, a lot of families that I work with that are going through probate, I meet them because they have to do something with real estate. Even though it might not be part of the estate, it's still part of their responsibility. So is there any real estate you guys have that you could use help with? And if the answer is yes, then you engage and go down that path for the real estate conversation. But I think that all of most families are going to sell the real estate. That's where 80% of Americans hold their wealth. So in order to settle liabilities and to distribute assets to heirs, most families will sell the real estate, unless the will states that the real estate goes to one person. Usually the family members will, even if one wants it, the others will step up and that person will step up and buy the others out, and then they take title to the real estate. So typically, 90% of families in transition will sell the real estate, and usually when they don't, it's a rural community or in Hawaii, homestaying families. But I think you still have just as much opportunity as the rest of us, even though the logistics might be a little different because of your law.
So I guess I'm not getting much response from the letter or from my call, so maybe I just need to tweak the whole process and just maybe sit down with somebody and figure out how I need to. Have you
met any probate attorney? Have you met any probate attorneys in your market?
I have. Yep. And he's the one that's saying, well, wait, it's not even it doesn't go through probate. But, I'll keep your information, and if I need a real estate agent, I always like to provide three, and so I'm going to be one of his three that he's going to provide.
So when you spoke with him, did you follow the real estate from A to Z? So do you understand the documents that transfer title and when it transfers, and do you know all those specifics?
Talking about me personally?
Yeah.
Or no, I don't.
Okay, so I think once you fill in those gaps, you're going to see how you can market to them, right? So I actually worked in Tennessee, but I was building resorts. I wasn't working with existing real estate, so I've never dealt with closings I've never dealt with probate in Tennessee. We built the Wilderness at the Smokies Resort in Sevierville.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
all my experience in Tennessee has been new construction. But what I would encourage you to go get clear on that process and figure out what is the exact path that a piece of real estate takes to avoid the probate proceeding, and is it always the same regardless of how title is held? Because in almost every state, you have if two spouses hold, or if two people hold property hold title as tenants in the entirety, then you can use a spousal property petition. One piece of paper can transfer the real estate, and probate's still open, but the real estate's transferred from spouse A to spouse B. In Texas, you can file for monument of title, carve the probate completely out of the real estate, but all the motivators are still there to get that house sold. So what I would like is just for you to have a thorough understanding of what the path of real estate through and around probate looks like. Then you'll know better. The better you understand that process, the better you'll understand how you need to market. Does that make sense?
Sure. So you think just look it up on the Secretary of State's website and just kind of learn that
the reason
process?
I asked about the attorney, it sounds like you've started a pretty good relationship with that attorney. I would call and just be candid and say, hey, listen, thanks for your time, and I thought about what you said, and there's a few gaps in my knowledge. Could you help me just understand what happens to a house in a typical situation, and what are the exceptions to that? And it could be a 10-minute conversation. So, and you're going to learn a lot. Alternatively, yes, you can call the probate clerk or whatever the clerk is called in a chancery court. You could call them and have them walk you through the same thing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Does that help?
Awesome. Thank you. Yep.
Very good. We have 5 more in the queue, guys, so I'm probably going to close the queue in about 5 minutes. If anybody else would like to jump in, just hit *6 and then hit 1. And then next up is phone number ending in 5564. You're up next. Hello? Edwina, phone number ending in 5564. Are you there?
I had myself muted. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I'm with you now. I actually have 2 things. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. And so I have a win, and then I also have a question.
All right.
And I guess this is where we share those. When I do take the opportunity and make calls, what I've done is I've started with the out-of-state PRs, and I happened to get one that I got a hold of a gentleman and was talking to him, and they're in Texas. They're just 8 hours away. And come to find out, not only was there the homestead, there's also, 11 rental properties.
Nice.
That need to be sold. So that I consider my win. So and
I would say so.
So have you listed all 12 properties?
Not yet. We are working through that. I'm listing the homestead is going on the market tomorrow. I visited 2 of the rentals yesterday that are vacant. And then several of them are going to be sold as investment properties because they're currently leased.
And do you have a good book of investors that you can pitch the portfolio to?
I do. Yes.
And you may have already done this. Are you listing 11 individual listings or a portfolio or both?
11 individual listings. Actually, one of them, I believe the tenant is purchasing it, and I'm going to facilitate that transaction.
So if you're open to it, I'd like to give you a suggestion on how to grow your cash buyers list and get a lot of exposure off of this opportunity. Are you open?
Okay, absolutely.
So you should, and you and your broker have to agree on this. Like, my MLS rules allow me to list the same piece of real estate in more than one way, and I'm assuming yours is probably the same. So I uncovered a portfolio of 60, I think it was 64 houses once. So I had 64 individual listings and then one portfolio listing of 64 houses, and I had a hell of a lot of exposure. So you can get a ton of exposure out there on listings that are yours without violating MLS rules, and you can probably build your cash buyers list off of all the leads that will come in off of 12 listings versus 2.
Okay. I will ask my MLS about that.
On the individual listings, you want to put in the public remarks, if your broker's comfortable with it, say, this is part of a larger portfolio sale, see MLS numbers, and put the other 11 MLS numbers in the public remarks if you're allowed to. So that way, when it gets syndicated across 300 websites, all that traffic is going to be pointing back. Anyone who's interested in rental property is going to see that you've got 11 more. And even if you've already sold that, you know that the calls that are going to come in are most likely interested landlords that have an appetite for more than one home.
Right.
But
okay.
you can meet a lot of people in a short amount of time if you do it that way. Because investors want economy of scale. So I would much rather spend the same amount of time buying 11 houses as I would one, right? So you can get a lot of interest from the marketplace, and have conversations, ask them what they already own, ask them what their buying criteria is, get them in your database. So the next time you come up with one of these, you can keep it off MLS and run it right through your own buyers list.
Well, yes, I can. I mean, the thing, I've had a couple of investors texting me lately going, do you have any off-market properties? And my thing when I met with the executors was to say, okay, if we put them in the MLS, then even if they are investors, then you're still creating kind of that bidding war, if you will, and getting a little bit higher price than just someone walking, one investor walking in. So when you have
that's fine on this, and I would say,
how do you look at that different?
As you move forward and you have more and more cash buyers in your list, you can create the same frenzy within your own cash buyers list, and you can create an opportunity for you to keep more of the commission. Typically, these are going to be lower priced properties, so you're doing the same amount of work for a lower commission. What I did with the package of 64 houses, with other portfolios, that one was like with other portfolios, I have just simply, had the seller sign an MLS opt-out, and we left it off the market for a week. So I would run it out to my cash buyers list, and they like that exclusivity. They know that they're the only, they don't know how many are on my list, but they know that they're part of an exclusive few that get the first look at these deals. And then if I don't have it under contract after the first 7 days, then it'll go into MLS. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You create an exclusive opportunity for your own cash buyers and an opportunity for you to take a larger commission on these lower sales prices. And then you still provide the seller even more opportunity by, after that's run its course, you still put it in MLS and put it out there too. And it's going to be situational. You'll have to decide what's best for you, and the seller have to decide what's best in the situation. But anyway, just some pointers that might help you grow that list of investors.
Hey, Dwayne, I'm curious, when you called, did you know there was a dozen properties, or you were just calling on one and it was a pleasant surprise?
I was calling on one, and it was a very pleasant surprise.
Did you ask the question, or did they volunteer? I've got 11 more.
I think he volunteered it actually before I ever got to that.
It's interesting. We were listening to one of our ISAs set like a $3.2 million appointment, and we were coaching the ISA because the same thing happened. He called in one property, and the guy goes, no, I've already sold that. And, oh, okay, thank you. And they said, oh, by the way, I have another one, a $3.2 million house. So we told the ISA, well, that's a question you should be asking every time from now on. If that one is sold, whether it's sold or not, you want to be asking that question. What other real estate do you have that I can help you with? That's awesome. So the first one,
Right.
you double-ended already, and then you've got 11 more or 12 more total?
11.
11. Okay. Congratulations.
Well, there's a total
I think.
of, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good ROI on your initial investment. Great job.
Yes, exactly. So, and
Yeah.
the beauty that came out of this too is there was a family friend that was helping get me keys and that kind of thing. And this home is in a cul-de-sac that there's been no sales in there for, ever. And so when I met him, I couldn't get a hold of him the one afternoon I was trying to get him. And he said, well, I'm sorry. So I was at a funeral, and it was actually for the gentleman across the street. And they're from
Wow.
Indiana. The family's in from out of state, and they were asking me if I knew anyone. Can I have your card? Okay.
Nice.
And so
Well, that
anyway,
is
he
great.
said that you're supposed to call, and I haven't heard from him yet. But then, so my question around that, I did pull up that property and look at it in the tax records. It is in a trust, but it appears it's in a trust with the father's name and then the son's name. So so it's not going to trigger a probate. What is going to be different as far as their timeline waiting on letters testamentory, or do they even need or get those within the trust? I haven't dealt with an actual trust.
Yeah, it won't be a matter of public record. You won't see it on the probate records. The good news is you already have your in. You may follow up with your client and say, hey, I haven't heard from the Joneses. Would you mind giving me their number? Or would you mind passing this along to them? With the trust, I mean, the question is, was the son a beneficiary, or was he an owner of the trust, and is he still alive? There may not be an intent to sell. The intent may have been to transfer the asset.
Yeah, there's an intent to sell from what they're saying, and they're actually over there now with a dumpster and all kinds of stuff. I just wasn't going to go ambulance chase and go across the street. They have seen me.
Well,
They've seen my sign in the yard, that kind of thing.
So I think you should adjust your thinking there, because someone across the street trusts you and said, hey, I think you should help them. And I think that gives you an opening where you're not going to look predatory. You can simply say, hey, I'm actually helping Mr. Jones, and he suggested that I could probably help you guys. I mean, I know it's early, but we could be doing a lot of this work for you had we talked last week. Have you got 5 minutes? And just introduce yourself as the person who's helping the neighbor across the street through the same situation. But, oh, by the way, he didn't drive 8 hours to come here and do all this. I'm taking care of it for him.
Right. True. That's true. So,
All right. Well,
okay.
Go ahead. No. Did you have a follow-up question? Go ahead.
Well, it shows in the trust, I'm assuming it's the father's name, and then it looks like the son's name, and in parentheses, T.E. So what does that mean? Or I can send it to my title company and get them to explain it to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, I'll ask them then. Yeah, that's it.
I think you got an excellent chance to get the win of the week. I challenge somebody to outdo that one. You never know. But congratulations. That's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, good job, Edwin.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we have 6 more in the queue, so the queue is closed. This should take us up to the top of the hour easily. Next up is phone number ending in 8115. You're up next.
Hey guys, it's Chris. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. I just got a quick one for you. As far as the whole, getting in contact with the heirs of the property, or how time sensitive is all of the whole process? Coming from our perspective as being investors.
Well, I mean, it's important as an investor. It's important you get there early, right? So, because the people who have that super high level motivation to sell at a discounted price are typically going to they're going to attract the money to do that. So what we find is it's usually a couple of months from the date of death before they file probate, and we're going to be getting you the lead within a 30-day period. So if we deliver leads on the 15th of November, we'll deliver the next set on the 15th of December. We can, in most cases, for another kind of researcher activation charge, basically mileage and paying them to go back to the courthouse, we can do it bi-weekly if you feel like you need to speed up the frequency. But typically, it's going to be a couple of months since the person passed away and they file probate, saying kind of their signal to the world of, hey, we're ready to deal with this. What we encourage everybody to do is set up your marketing campaigns on autopilot, so then the day your leads come in, they hit the CRM orders your mail, the mail fires off, and then your calls are ordered, and then you start getting appointments without doing anything, because real estate business is busy. Things don't always go as planned. So we've built the system to be as expeditious as possible. If you're not using the autopilot function of our system, then you just need to make sure that, the day the leads come in, you take 5 minutes and set that up. And, I mean, realistically, in under 15 minutes, you can accomplish a quarter worth of marketing because of the systems we provide. So, yeah, and then jump on the phones as soon as your letter hits. Jump on the phones and start to work.
And is the autopilot set up to do more than one round at a time, or is that something you have to do manually?
Yeah, so when you set up your first order, you can add as many, like your sequence could be anything from 1 letter to 10 letters and 10 phone calls. It's, we build it so the more frequency the better, but we understand that costs money. So when you set it up, if you, let's say in your first list you want to do 3 letters and then follow that with 3 phone calls. If we're making your calls, that'll all work in tandem, and we'll execute it over the next 90 days. Something to note, we're only going to charge you for what's currently being fulfilled, and through each round of the campaign, as we opt people out, that cost is going to reduce. So you might start with 100 leads on round 1, you'll have 70 on round 2, be down to 30 on round 3. So the system is built not only to save you time, but also to save you money while we're doing that work that you don't have to manage all that. We've built software to save you time and money.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, good stuff. That's all I have for you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next up is phone number ending in 9882. You're up next.
Hi, this is Rich Roth from South Haven, Mississippi. I've got a question. When you're trying to establish a relationship with probate attorneys, do y'all have some sort of, brochure, template or something like that can be used?
We do. Are you a subscriber, sir?
Not yet.
So where our letters are, we have letters, and then we also have other print collateral. We have trifold brochures, and at this point there's dozens of variations. But what's been most effective is a face-to-face visit to the attorney's office, and then have a stack of those brochures. And a lot of people even take a brochure holder to leave at the front desk, and that's been extremely well received with all the folks that we have that are doing that. So we can help you. Like, we'll do all your design work for you. We'll print them, and we'll land them right in your mailbox, probably cheaper than you can get it done anywhere else. So we have, specific to what we teach, we can probably, turnaround time on that is just a couple of days.
Oh, that's certainly pretty fast. Okay, well, thank you. That definitely answers my question. That was exactly what I was, although I didn't know exactly what I needed to hear, but it sounded exactly what I need.
Yeah, and I don't know, have you spoken to anyone from our team about your county and how many leads we're getting?
Yes, I have. I'm having to put just a temporary delay on that. I'm in the process of going through a Chapter 7, unfortunately, and so I'm having to be very conservative about expenditures right at this very moment, but hopefully that will be changing within the next month or so.
Understood.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your participation. We
Thank
have
you.
4 more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 7687. You're up next.
Yeah, hi. This is Jeff Chubb up in Boston. Very quick and easy question. Have you guys ever split test a letter going out, with just regular letter and then a letter that includes the certificate of, training of probate mastery? Have you ever split tested that to see if that adding the certificate adds, a higher response rate?
We haven't. So a lot of Jim and I have spent tens of thousands of dollars of our own money when we were getting all the letters in place, like proving them out. I've never issued myself a probate mastery certificate because I'm the teacher. I've never really thought of it, Jeff. But I would be very curious. I think that it's definitely going to give you credibility.
Right.
And I'd love to hear the report if you try it.
Well, first 100 are going out. First 100 for the split test are going out, probably the next day or so. So I'll let you know.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, that's a great idea. I mean, we've got a couple thousand people that can benefit from that. So and I don't know, I haven't done a great job of getting everybody in there. There's a private Facebook group for anyone who's graduated from Mastery. So if you go to Probate Mastery Alumni on Facebook, Probate Mastery Alumni, if you could share in there, or even do it do it in the All the Leads Mastermind group. We've got a lot more folks in there. I know everybody that's been through Mastery is in there, but share your results or come back to this call and let us know how it worked out. I'd love to hear.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Next up is phone number ending in 1111. You're up next.
Nice number.
Good phone number.
Hi, this is Carol in Florida, and I am brand new to this, and I'm going to just be starting out in January. So I have a question for you. We've been talking about always advertising that one of our hooks is that we have a whole team of people that can help you. I'm wondering what is to prevent a person that I'm speaking with to say, well, why don't you just give me all the people that can help me, and I'll get back to you later on the real estate issue. I mean, this
sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a great idea. Would you like to meet so we can do that at 1 or 3 today?
Okay. So you just want to get
the idea is no, you shouldn't just give up your list. You shouldn't have like a directory of your team members, but you should, like any opportunity you have to get face to face with these folks, take it. And that's a great opportunity to get face to face.
Okay.
Because once they realize the whole scope of your offer and that what that team is capable of, they're not, you're going to be the only real estate professional in the world. So if that's what they're looking for, the cost of that is meeting with you and hearing you out. And once you meet with them and you kind of see what the situation is, you understand their goals, then you're going to find ways to, apply that team. And typically they're going to be so impressed that they want you to execute on the plan that you're suggesting rather than doing it themselves.
Okay, and what kind of material would I provide them on the team members? Would I provide any type of brochures, or would I make up my own list?
Nope. So I would suggest that you don't have one. The value of that being in your head is much higher than that being on paper. So when you get there, if they're expecting a list, just be like, oh, okay, well, I kind of misunderstood. Well, why don't you tell me what you're looking for, and then I'll connect you with the members of our team that can help you with that. And I've never had a problem with that. We in some of our trifold brochures, we do list not the contact information for that person, but more their title and their profession. So we have an estate sale company, a clean out crew, a contractor, but we have ABC Construction, and we have, Holy Grail Estate Sales or whatever. So I would suggest that's something you keep close to your vest, because you're going to work hard to have the right partners, and you don't want to be publishing a bunch of stuff that a competitor can grab and just pick up your business model. So I would, keep that as a value, the internal value that comes with you to the appointment.
Okay.
And
well,
Carol, I was going to add, Carol, first of all, congratulations on being proactive, trying to answer objections before they ever come up. And I was also going to bet you $1 that no matter how many years you do this, you'll never get that objection because these people you're reaching out to are already overwhelmed. The likelihood that they're going to want to get on the phone and call a dozen people they don't know is pretty low. So, if it ever does come up, let me know. I think you're going to find just the opposite, that they're so overwhelmed, they're going to be very glad to have you do it all for them.
Oh, so would I actually make the calls for them and put them in contact?
No, but you're going to coordinate it for them. You're going to put them in. You're going to find out what they need, and honestly, in probably 70, maybe half the cases, they're not going to need any of those people, and it's rare that somebody's going to need more than 2, 3, or 4 of them. So you're going to ask them good questions about what do you need help with. And then you're going to recommend a handful of people that you do have, that can help them.
And by recommend, like what I suggest is, as you wrap up the appointment, you say, okay, so we've established you need help from an estate sale company. We need to have a clean-out crew come in behind them, and then we'll have our photographers come in. So a guy named Bill is going to call you first. He'll be from the estate sale company, and he'll set up a time to meet with you. Then Joe will call, then Sam will call, and just kind of go down the schedule of what to expect. And you can give them the contact information at that point for the ones that should be calling them. But you should go back to your desk, call or email Joe, Sam, and Bill, whatever names they use, and just say, hey, can you call Mrs. Smith? We just had an appointment, and she needs your service. Okay. So you're putting that responsibility over on your team member, and you're done. So nothing's coming through your books. You don't have any more responsibility. You don't have any liability. And if you chose the right partners, they'll execute as you ask them to, and you won't have to do any additional work.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
Excellent. We'll come back in January and let us know how you did. I appreciate you participating.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up is phone number ending, that phone number sounds familiar, 2628. You're up next.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, my name is Clement Irvin. I'm here in Indianapolis, and I just had a quick question. So we, me and my partners and I, we've been in the real estate just a couple months. We're kind of new to it. We've just been doing a little wholesaling, but we just bought our first probate list, and one of our concerns is how do we approach these prospects, because I know it's a little different as far as the wholesale and real estate investor approach. Like, how do we?
Are you a subscriber of ours?
Yes.
Okay, so have you guys watched the Fast Track training when you first signed into the subscriber portal?
Yes, those it was like 3 videos, maybe like 3 10-minute videos or so.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So you've done that, and have you found the role play calls, like where we have about 30 hours of archived role play content?
No, I didn't even know. I haven't really been into the website, so I have not.
Okay, well that's going to be a huge help to you. So if you can do it on Facebook or you can do it through the subscriber portal. In subscriber portal, you go to education and training, conference calls, access call archive, and it's in a calendar format. You can go back in time 4 years and listen to, there's 1 role play call each month for an hour, and there's 4 of these calls each month. But the role play call is going to be really beneficial in kind of helping you understand what objections to expect, how to respond to them, and what the kind of order of conversation is. Mm-hmm. And then there's also, if you look on our blog, there's a series called Tips from the Trainer that will kind of help you with things. There's more specific topics like how to deal with a surviving spouse, how to break the ice with an attorney, things like that. So there's a lot of training resources we provide in addition to these calls. Just look around on the site under the blog and in the subscriber portal. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff that's going to be real valuable to you guys you haven't really seen yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm here on the website now. Would it be under the Probate Mastery or the conference call archives?
Yeah, so if you're logged in, you go to Education and Training, Conference Calls, Access Call Archive. The other thing you can do, we have started a video archive. About the last 4 or 5 calls have not been uploaded yet. But if you go to the public website, not the subscriber portal, so at alltheleads.com, in the top right there's a master search bar. and you can type in role play or mastermind, and it's going to bring all those calls to the top. That search bar will help you really anytime you need something, like say you want to learn about attorneys. You can go to that search bar, type in, and make sure this is not in the subscriber portal, but it's on the main website. Type in attorney into that search bar, and it's going to bring up every blog post, every web page, every conversation we've had about probate attorneys. So that search bar can help you get to what you're looking for really quickly.
Okay, absolutely. Gotcha.
All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead. Another question?
No, that was all.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Phone number ending in 2264. You're up next.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. Yes. Before I start, that lady that had the portfolio of homes, I had good success putting that kind of thing on LoopNet and get all kinds. Last time I had 8 plex that I couldn't sell on local MLS, just put on LoopNet, and I think I had 6 offers in the first 3 days from out of the area investors, and ended up selling to one that was only 50 miles away, but I wouldn't have reached him any other way.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I'm glad you brought that up. I think I got distracted, but yes, put it on LoopNet, CoStar, and in your local MLS as a commercial listing. Edwina, I hope you're still on here. So you can list it as a portfolio commercial and as a portfolio residential. At least in my MLS, I'm allowed to do that. But yes, those CoStar and LoopNet are basically the commercial MLSs, and you get even more exposure there. Good advice, sir.
Well, I'll build a list of people that I'm still looking for units for, and it also, next time I would do that first, and they just come to me. I wouldn't have to worry about dealing with other brokers. But I'm been with you a couple of months now. I think we're on our second, or maybe starting our third mailing and second round of calling. A team there I've hired to do, your team to hire to do the calling hasn't had much success in reaching folks. In fact, I think they got no responses this week. But they did leave a message, and one fellow did call me back directly. And so I have an appointment to see that property tomorrow morning. So will be the first appointment I've gotten out of it. Though it's good that they did leave a message, and it's funny. It's one that we follow up with our own guide to your mailings. We've been following up with a guide to inherited home property, and his was one of 2 that got kicked back for a bad address. And I have the guide here, and it would have been almost 2 months ago, over a month ago, November. No, before that. But he would have gotten that, but the address was bad. Now I got a better address for him. But they, I don't think yours have a return address on them, so that's why I've been doing my one mailing on my own, so I get a return. And
no, we can. So it's your choice. So when you do the envelope setup, you choose whether or not you want to put a return address on.
Is that right?
And I will say, so yeah. So the fact that one bounced is it's really rare. So the data was recorded by that person. Well, it was first reported by that person and then recorded in the courthouse less than 30 days ago. And we take an additional step to do an address verification before we send out any mail. So it should have been a good address. I'm curious as to what happened. But yeah, you can definitely.
I've gotten 2 of these back, one each month, and they just say return to sender, insufficient address, unable to forward. And an address looks like a decent address, but it came back. But the only bad part is he said, I've already been at this 2 months, and I'm already interviewed 3 real estate agents. But he was curious when I got into our spiel there.
And how many
actually give me a chance.
How many mailings are you doing per month? How many are you doing?
I think that was maybe about 14 or 15. I think the second month was 20, and this month is going to be only 7. So,
wow. So I tracked my first 12,000 pieces of mail, and I had 6 returns in 12,000. And then I stopped putting the return address on.
Oh, you stopped?
Anyway, congratulations on the appointment. That's good. That's good news.
do you think we should put the return address on for a local address here so I would know, or?
So the reason I have those numbers in my head, I tested it, and it's a very small difference, if at all. The reason I took the return address off of mine, and that's kind of where I settled in, is I only got 6 out of 12,000 back, and I figured it creates more curiosity by not having a return address. So you're getting a greeting card envelope, and you don't know who it's from. What happens? It gets opened. Especially on touch number 2 and number 3, you know, they're not getting familiar with your address because it's not there.
Chad, I'd also point out that since you did your mailings, we've added a tremendous amount of verification to that process. I know you said that, but I'm saying, you know, you got those results before we even did that. Now, I mean, if we get anything back, it's extremely rare, and the addresses that we furnished are ones that have not only been verified through third-party services that we use, but they also work against the postal office's deliverable list. So if that's up to date at all in your marketplace, they are deliverable addresses. It may not be the person that you're looking for may not be there, but it should be a deliverable address for sure to that address. We make sure that that's the case. So, I mean, 1 in 1,000 of them might be wrong, and it could be a data entry error, and I won't say that never happens, but our deliverability is almost 100%.
Could be too. A substitute mail carrier that day couldn't find the house and sent it back. I've seen that happen.
I had it happen at my house this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty rural area, so who knows what happened. It's that's 2 kicked back out of 30. So I'm glad I do on my own to find out about that. It is just curious that the one that would have been the one that was the most interested in wanting to sell the property right away was one that was the only one we really missed.
Do me a favor to help us out as well. If the 2 that you did get back, if you'll send an email to support with those 2 in there and say, further conference call, please research these and determine correct address. I'd like to take a look at those for you.
Oh, okay. Well, you can see.
Be glad to do it. And I'm glad our ISA got them to call you back. That's great. You got an appointment. Go list it and come back next week and let us know you got it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. The reason I wanted the ISAs is because for the last year I've had the same problem, is that people in this area just will not answer their phone anymore. And I've now tried a couple different programs with ISAs, and they're having the same results. You know, call 20 people and get none to answer.
It's a shame with a radio voice like yours that they won't answer the phone.
When are you calling? When are you making these phone calls?
Well, I haven't been I've had you all making them.
I thought you said you were making them. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
I said for the last year I've been making to different programs and lists, and I haven't done any better. So I figured I would let you all do it, and I see it's about the same. And I also started another program with prime seller leads, and they had the same problem with their ISA. No one answered, and that was on
What market are you in, sir?
We're in the northwest here, and the country of the Clark County, Cowlitz County. It's north of Portland. It's in north of Vancouver, Washington area.
Sure. Beautiful area.
We've had a hot market
there, right?
Yeah, we've had a hot market for several years, and because of that, we have thousands of real estate agents hounding everyone to death.
All right. Well, it sounds like we already got 100% better results than you were getting previously. So, but the good news is you don't have a ton of leads, but it only takes one to have this whole process be worth it. So, good luck with the appointment you had. I appreciate you sharing. We have one more person in the queue, and we're going to run just a little bit late today, guys. Last up is phone number ending in 8904. You're up last. Are you there?
Hello. Oh, hi. This is Cliff.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'll be new to the program, just starting up, and then setting up my affiliate list, my partners in the deal, so to speak. I'm concerned about how do I best approach the many different kinds of service providers to ask them to be on my team.
Well, I mean, they're business owners, so they're looking for opportunity the same as you are, and you need to just demonstrate to them, hey, you know, I'm putting together a team of people here locally, specifically to help families in transition, and as part of that, I need an estate sale company or a reliable contractor or clean out crew, and just show them how that you're both of you are creating a mutually beneficial referral relationship, and it's really easy to do. Like it's honestly, I mean,
do you generally approach people with do you generally start with a phone call?
Yeah, in most cases. And you'll never really stop building this team. I mean, for example, at some point someone's going to say, "Well, do you know a senior moving company?" And at that point, you can say, "Yeah, sure. I'll let you. I'll have their information when we meet." And you can go find that senior moving company in a couple of hours, and you're going to find that as situations arise, you'll continue to add people to that team. So don't feel like you have to have everybody day one, and they're really easy relationships to create.
Right, and of course, there's a concern whenever you refer a potential client to someone, they might not get good service over there. How do you screen them to be sure they're not the kind of people who don't return phone calls, or do you check them out much to be sure that they're worthy of being on your list?
Yeah, for sure. So you definitely need to vet them, because that's a big part of your value to your client, is you're working with people who have been vetted and they're trustworthy. So we, like for example, an estate sale company, there's a couple of directories. So you have estatesales.com and estatesales.net. And in order to be on the directory, those people have, they've been treating their business like a business. So they went there, they put up a listing, and the more professional their listing in the directory, probably the more they've got it together, right? And even within that directory, they have a rating system. So you have platinum, bronze, gold, silver. So they've paid to have that type of rating. So if people have a really good listing and they've paid the money to have that rating, and they have a Better Business Bureau link, I mean, that's probably a trustworthy company. If it's if you're looking for estate sale companies on Craigslist because it's not licensed or regulated, you're probably going to have a much different experience. So the quality, just like with anything, I mean, the quality of the prospective partners is going to depend kind of on the source where you're looking. So just be careful not to, Craigslist you can find great partners there, but you can also, for every one of those, there's 10 people that will waste your time.
And how do you refer to these people in communicating with the prospects? The team members, their affiliates, or what do you call them?
So we say everyone, it's our team, and the idea, the visual that you want to create is a single vertically integrated solution. So it's really interesting when I meet with these folks. They're like, "My gosh, where are you? Where's your office? You got all these people. You must have one hell of an office building." And it's because the marketing has worked. It's created the perception that there's this giant office full of contractors and clean out crews and nursing, like all these people working as one team, and that's what we want to create, because it looks like they can handle everything in one phone call. Just like Jim said earlier, it's very unlikely that an executor under all this stress is going to want to go vet their own vendors. The reason they're responding to our offer is because we can handle everything in one phone call.
Gotcha. Okay, good. All right, and to have you guys do the letters, there's I'll be starting with 300. There's about 300 a month that come in in the county. Do you guys do the sequential set, all three, for me when I sign up for that service?
Yeah, so the order form will walk you through it, or we're happy to help you. But you'll set up letter number one. Well, you'll set up your letter templates, and assuming you're using, if there's variations, you'll title the letters. So you could call it letter one, letter two, letter three. And then when you go to the order form, you'll say, send letter one on this date, send letter two on this date, send letter three on this date. So you set up your sequence.
And that order form is in response to having received the list from you guys for the month, right?
Yeah, once you log into Subscriber Portal, you'll see at the top Mailbox Motivator, and then when that drops down, you'll go Mailing Campaign Setup, and in there you'll see all the letters and envelopes, and it's a pretty straightforward process. Yeah. I mean, we've got online editors for everything.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
That's very good. Thanks a lot. Very good seminar today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to one and all for coming to the call today. We ran a little bit over, so thank you for staying till the end. I want to end this call like I do all of them. You took your time to be here tremendous turnout. I think I know who the winner of the week is, but we'll officially, I'm not saying, but Edwina, I will call you tomorrow and we'll discuss it. But I want to end the call by challenging each and every one of you. Take one idea, one thing that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and call back next week and let us know your results. Thanks a lot, guys. Make it a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next Thursday.